Oh, son, what is good, my boy? Whenever I think about a cyborg, my brain might go back to like a 1960s science fiction novel or the cartoon I saw when I was little of the cyborg with the Teen Titans. But really, we think about it as technology aiding man in his own flesh. Like Anakin Skywalker getting his arm cut off and they replace it with a robotic one. Or the cyborg character from Teen Titans with half of his face and part of his brain is a computer or whatever, so on and so forth, right? Using mechanics and technology onto a human. But most men have become cyborgs and they augment their reality with technology. Lots of young men get all of their entertainment and conversation in online. They use these social influencers or Twitch streamers with these parasocial relationships to feed their need for real life friends. They use pornography online to fuel their desire for women and that natural desire to fucking spread your seed and have kids. It's crazy. They fill up their day with crazy shows like 1,000 Pound Sisters and all this bullshit, toxic Aiden Ross garbage that doesn't add up to anything. All it does is just give you a little bit of dopamine. They're using this technology. You could say, well, no, it's nothing with our brain or nothing. You're using this technology to affect the chemicals in your brain to make you feel good. These people are cyborgs. Whenever I was younger, I used to love whenever I had the ability to get electronics. Oh, I get a new video game. Oh, I get a new controller for the Xbox. Then I started getting into computers. Oh, I get to build this computer. Oh, I get to get this new Razer keyboard. All this shit. I fantasized about all the new cool electronics I get. The older I get and the more in tune with nature, it just seems kind of dystopian to me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a complete hippie. I think there's a practical purpose in place for technology. But what I do not understand is being completely reliant on it. It was meant to be a tool. This was meant to be a tool, not a challenge. This was not meant to be, oh, I'm so addicted to pornography. How do I help? And all these young men lost. I'm so addicted to pornography. Please help me. Please help me. Online trying to find answers. Oh, I don't know how to talk to people. I'm awkward in public. Oh, please help me. Oh, I just scroll on TikTok every day after work because I'm so tired and I feel like there's nothing else in my brain. It's crazy. It is absolutely insane. We live in a world full of autistic cyborgs. I get this mental image in my head of a fedora with the fucking half-faced cyborg character from Teen Titan being like, I'm a lady, like that type of shit. That's what I picture in my head when I think of autistic cyborgs. They don't know how to speak, they don't know how to communicate, they don't know how to be in touch with their surroundings and be present in the moment. I went to the gas station the other day. I'm sitting there pumping my gas, looking around for someone I can spark a conversation up while I wait for the fucking 2 minutes for my tank to fill up. I see all these different looking people. And I'm like, oh man, that guy's pretty interesting. He's got a pretty cool Harley over there. I'm staring in his general direction. And this man did not look up once. He did not look up once. He had his head down the whole time. Now he might have been in deep thought. It might have just been a one-off. But I look around the gas station. There's a lady over there. She's got her head down. She's not looking at anybody. There's this guy over here. He's got his fucking head in his phone. I look behind me. Oh, this guy's got a big old 7.3 diesel with a flatbed trailer. He's a good old boy. He must be ready for a little bit of a conversation. I look over at him. He's on his fucking phone too. He's on his phone too. And I was younger than every single person I looked at. The guy on the motorcycle was 56 years old. That's an exaggeration. I just used that number, just came to my head. That's what he looked like to me. 56. And I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I can't even spark up a simple conversation with anybody because they're so engrossed in this thing. It rules their life. What is this What do you think we did back in the 50s whenever the only phone that you, or the 50s or the 60s, the only phone was on a fucking hook on the wall? There was nothing in your pocket. Now people think, oh, I can't go there without a phone because what if something happens? What if something bad happens? Why does everything need to be efficient? Why does everything need to be... Why can't we just not have it all the time? We used to go without it. We went without it for 2,000 years. We just... Shit happened. We went, and every little day could have been a little adventure because you might get stranded somewhere. You might have something happen. But no more. No more. There is no sense of community, it seems like. There is no... Oh, I don't have a phone, but I got a flat tire on the side of the road and someone pulled over to help me. And we sparked the conversations and I bought him a beer later that weekend. There is none of that. I live in a small town in East Texas. I moved here with the assumption that maybe things would be different and people would have this. There is a community feel, but everyone is still a cyborg. I am a cyborg. We all live half of our lives with technology. It's engrossed us and indoctrinated us. It's absolutely insane the more I think about it. Even the 80-year-old people I know, they love their movies and their TV. They might not be as acclimated with this device as younger people are, but they have their own technology that was indoctrinated onto them in the past. In the 80s, you get all these fucking TV shows, Miami Vice, all this shit. It indoctrinated them too. But there is still something we can learn from these older people. My grandpa, for instance, he is what I would call addicted to certain TV shows, to movies and things. But he allocates time. He understands this. And he allocates time to go outside, no cell phone, and just sit, breathe in deep, and enjoy the surrounding nature that he is within. Just enjoy it. Enjoy this earth that gives us life. I try not to be super hippy-dippy motherfucker on here, but it's crazy. It truly is crazy. Whenever you see all this crazy shit that we have produced, toxic things filling up landfills and all this shit. I don't really like to rant on this because it's kind of a belief and a personal preference thing, and it kind of creates divide among people. But it truly is insane to me how far we have strayed. I mean, 1776 was when America was founded, all of that, right? That isn't that long ago. 100 years ago, which I know people today who are 100 years old, was the 1920s. 100 years before that was the 1820s. And a lot of America wasn't even inhabited still. Then go back less than 100 years from 1820. That's 1776. Say you got 3 people, or less than 3 people that were 100 years old. You've already gone back to the creation of America, and 3 people. 3 people. That's not that long, and we have got fucking just like consumed in that short of a period of time. Our efficiency seems to have crippled us and turned us into like a cyborg, truly. And you watch movies like Blade Runner or some crazy shit like that where it just shows like the future of the dystopian society. It was based on a novel by Philip K. Dick, Do Androids Dream of Electronic Sheep? And it's the ways that everyone is. There's hardly any real people. It really highlights our society now because you see all these robotic women. Like the newer Blade Runner 2049, that guy literally just has like a fucking robot girlfriend. Insane. Absolutely insane. That we're not too far from the cyborgs. Elon Musk is trying to come up with a new brain chip. Whether it's a good or bad thing, I don't really know. I haven't seen it in use. I haven't done any research on it. But what I can tell you from my experience with this alone is whether you believe in religion or you believe in evolution, we are the only being on this planet besides monkeys who use tools, and we use tools better than the monkeys do. And I'm a general contractor. I build houses. I'll use a hammer. I'll use a nail gun. I'll use a fucking circular saw. I'll use all these tools to construct a house. But I don't go around and abuse my tools and start fucking doing crazy things that they weren't made for. No. Just like this. This is a tool. You can choose to be consumed by it, or you can choose to use it as an ailment for your life. You can choose to have it help you, not hinder you. Because I have very much so been afflicted by this. I've been a cyborg, and I would still consider myself a cyborg. Okay? I'm using this buzzword just because I find it kind of cool. But in the past, I've been addicted to video games, addicted to the processed food. When I was a little kid, I loved nature, loved fishing, loved hunting, loved all these things. And then slowly I became a cyborg with my computer, with my phone, with all these different things, just constantly scrolling, constantly being consumed. And now I've kind of started to find a balance. I still struggle with it because this is like the most powerful drug on the planet, if you ask my opinion. But I broke free from that and have chose to use it as an accessory, not as my mainstay source of entertainment and everything. And for young men, I'm not going to just leave this as a rant. I'm going to give you a piece of advice. I help a lot of young men online with different things, mainly fitness. But there's this kid that I know that was friends to my little brother. And I didn't really like the kid that much whenever I knew him. I lived in this neighborhood, and I've moved off and haven't talked to him in a couple years or so, right? Kid messaged me other day. He kind of looked up to me, I guess. And I play guitar, and he played guitar as a similarity, one of the things he looked up to me for. And he asked me, "Are you still playing?" I saw this. It was like a message. I don't really check my messages that much, but it was a month ago. I respond back to him, and he sends me like 5 things, super excited that I talked to him about this shit. And I looked at his situation, and I'm like, you're about 16 years old. Most 16-year-olds I know are watching Aiden Ross live stream. What did Aiden Ross say? What did Aiden Ross say? Playing fucking video games all day, not doing nothing. But this kid is very passionate about guitar, about music in general. And I saw this and was kind of moved by it. Almost had a sense of urgency to validate him for this. Make him feel special. And I told him, look, most kids nowadays, I'm a kid, but I talk because he's younger than me. It's like most kids nowadays will just sit around and play video games. I don't know if you do this or not, but I do know that you have a true passion for your music. And I'm actually kind of proud of you for that. It is a very rare thing nowadays to have a hobby, which is a crazy thing for me to even utter, but it's true. And video games are not a hobby, in my opinion. Unless you are documenting them and you're so fucking good you can make money off of it. Even that, at that point, to me it's more of a prison than a hobby. It's an addiction. An escape. Video games, most people don't create the code for the video games of the art. They just play them. And that's a whole political thing. But to make a long story short, I told him this and blah, 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 and then I suggested a book by Rick Rubin called The Creative Act for him to read. And we talked about Chris Cornell and a couple other things. And it really made me proud that there was somebody that I know out there that is truly passionate about one thing, a hobby, if you will, and focusing on that. So, to leave this video, I will say, all the young men out there, find you a hobby. I am blessed by God that I have numerous passions, almost like a Da Vinci. I love to do I find art so infatuating. I love tattooing. I love the art of like tattooing like a Ed Hardy Sailor Jerry. I love oil painting. I love drawing. I love playing guitar. I love playing piano. I love singing. I love fucking welding. I love building homes and carpentry and all. I love all these different things. Writing a book. I love them all. I often find myself juggling my passions. But I do realize there are a lot of men out there who feel passionless and purposeless in this modern world. And I promise you, the best thing you can do is to just give up some of these escapism video game things for a little while and just go off on an adventure, trying numerous different hobbies until you find something that you like. And once you find something that you like, put your time into it until you become good. And once you become good, it will become very, very fun. Good is a relative parameter, but until you can create what you desire out of that. And then just pursue it. If you gotta be a starving artist, be a starving artist. Don't get caught up in all this hustle culture, Andrew Tate bullshit. Just pursue these things. And you will be much better off and have purpose. Chase paper, enjoy nature, son, and have a great day.